Right, it's Justin and Erdal back again. Erdal, who's our next guest?
We got Joy here from Microsoft.
How's it going?
Thank you, Joy. Can you please tell me a bit about you, what you're doing in Microsoft?
So I'm a technical evangelist in the development platform evangelism team. My primary responsibility is talking about Windows Server 2008 R2, IIS, and SQL Server types and permissions.
Beautiful. So can you tell me, please, the brand new features in R2?
So we've got a lot of different things happening in Windows Server 2008 R2. How about I give you my favorite one?
Please.
And my favorite feature in Server 2008 R2 is the Active Directory recycling.
Okay.
So if you've ever come across one of these situations where you get that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning, the guy says, oh yeah, by the way, we deleted an OU.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. It's department headquarters OU, right? That's always a favorite thing.
So they have to run no Active Directory recovery code?
Yeah, before you had to do an authoritative, you had to go in and do that authoritative restore to go ahead and get that organization unit back. However, with Server 2008 R2, we have a new Active Directory recycle bin.
Okay.
And so what you have to do, the only requirements are is that your Active Directory force level functional mode and your domain functional mode are at that arch level, meaning all of your DCs have to be at that level. And then via PowerShell, we can simply go in and enable the recycle bin. Once we enable the recycle bin, our tombstone lifetime of that 180 days we used to have for deleted objects actually becomes a recycle bin lifetime. And then we shift that 180 days from the tombstone over, so that also exists. So what, what happens is that attributes are actually only marked as deleted inside of Active Directory. They're not truly gone until after that 180 days.
It's similar in the, like in Windows 10.
It's kind of similar, yeah, in that it's marked for deletion. And whenever I go through and I'm using PowerShell, or if I'm using my GUI utilities in the new Active Directory Administration Center, I don't see those objects that have been deleted because those are flagged as marked for deletion. So an example of the demo that I did in my session here at TechEd is I actually have a terminal server. And on this terminal server, I've got a user that's currently connected to it. And then what I do is I've enabled the recycle bin and delete the computer account for that terminal server. Right? So any user that's currently connected, they're still good, right? They've already got that connection. But any new user coming in is going to get an error saying that that user's not in because that computer account has become invalidated. So then what I do is I drop into PowerShell with a simple line of PowerShell command line. I go in, I restore that computer account object, and then I can reconnect to that terminal server. It comes right back. All of the attributes that change. If you do it to a user, the group membership comes back, which we couldn't do via tombstone reanimation. So currently right now, it's only in PowerShell. It's only in PowerShell. So obviously, leave a little bit of room for our vendors and our providers to be able to access. It's really, really simplistic PowerShell. There's a commandlet. There's get-help, right? Everybody doing PowerShell, get-help. That's the thing.
I think this is good, one of the very good reasons you just asked it. One more question before we go.
Sure.
We're coming from Springboard.
Yep.
Probably you know about us. Oh.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Windows 7 and Server 2008 R2 are working better together.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You've got 5 tips, 5 features of that.
So better together, maybe direct access.
Cool.
Today we can work anywhere. I can go plop down in the Starbucks and I can work anywhere. But to do that, I've got to bust out my key fob, wait till that code comes up, that 13-digit code or whatever it is. Very quick, hopefully I get it typed in all right. If I do, then I'm good. I got to wait through quarantine and everything else. And so for a user, it's a little bit troublesome. With direct access, though, once they hit the internet, through the magic of IPsec and IPv6, we can actually create an always-on connection. That's great for our users, right? But for me, I'm an IT pro, right? How do I manage these systems that aren't always on my network, right? The sales guys that are always out there. Yeah, well, with direct access, as long as that computer's on the internet, I have access to it. So that's a really powerful feature. Also, branch cache. People who use branch offices and deal with branch offices, you get that HR video that comes up, or that big 15 meg file that everybody has to download and read and tell HR that they've read this document. What happens in our branch cache, in our branch offices, when all 25 people in the branch try to access that, right? We either get into bandwidth overages or... Somebody just walked across the street. We either get into to bandwidth overages, or even worse, we flood that pipe. So things like Active Directory applications start falling over, or other services with branch cache, what I can actually do is I can set up as two modes. There's a distributed mode, which is kind of like peer-to-peer type of caching. Set it up via group policy and everything else like that. One client will go out, get the file, and store it. And the next time somebody accesses it from the branch, as long as that machine that originally got it is still up, it can get it from the branch office. Or I can actually set up a dedicated branch office server. So those are kind of the big ones. Obviously, BitLocker to go, right? Because we're all running around with USB keys in our pockets. Who knows what data's on it, right? And we can actually secure that with BitLocker. So those are kind of the bigger, better together. With BitLocker to go, it's mostly with management and being able to store the recovery, just like what we did with the encrypted file system for EFS. We can store that inside of Active Directory and kind of have a BitLocker recovery engine type of scenario that we had before. That's kind of the better together in terms of Windows Server.
Another great thing that you can do with RAG access is that you can deploy, update GPOs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do your updating. You can make sure that you've got the firewall set up right. You can make sure that they've got the right virus definitions. System center can access it. You can do all the management that you would normally
Like
do.
you were in the corporate center.
Just as if you, yeah, right, exactly. And now obviously you've got your bandwidth considerations, right? Because at Starbucks you get, especially if you're in Seattle, right? If you're in Seattle at any given day at Starbucks, man, you don't have much bandwidth at all. But
All right.
I kid.
Thank you very much, Joe.
All right, guys,
Do you
thanks a
got
lot,
any
guys.
message that you want to pass to our watchers?
Well, now obviously you want to learn more about Windows 7. Go to Springboard, right? For Server 2008 R2 and also Windows 7 technology. Visit the website that we have for evangelism, edge.technet.com. We've got a lot of cool screencasts, a lot of good stuff on Win 7 and R2.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for the time.
Thank you.